everyone, welcome to another Excel chat video. I'm your host Kevin Kelly, and today we're going to be discovering conditional formatting and just all of the different ways that you can use it to present data in a more visually appealing, effective, and efficient manner. So without further ado, let's get into it. As you can see, I have a basic chart here with a list of salespeople and their sales numbers from the month of January and February, and then the percent change over the course of those 2 months. So the first thing that we're going to do, looking at the Excel chat article, is we're going to go to conditional formatting under the Home tab. And as you can see, I've already highlighted the 2 columns here. So conditional formatting, highlight cell rules. Okay, so when you're highlighting cell rules, it gives you a basic list of rules that people use most frequently. So in this case, we're going to use the greater than rule, but you can use less than, between, equal to, text that contains a date occurring, duplicate values, so many possibilities. So let's use greater than in this case. Now it's already given me a value here, but we're going to make that 20,000 instead. Okay. And as you can see, very quickly, a couple of seconds, that's all it took me to highlight all the values that are greater than 20,000. So when presenting this information, you can say, okay, Adam Ray had 2 highlighted cells. That means his sales were over 20,000, gives more emphasis to that person. And when you're maybe making a presentation or trying to show certain data points, this is a very useful tool. So we're going to Command Z and undo that, re-highlight the cells. The next thing that we're going to talk about is using above average. So typically, if you have these 2 columns, you want to average these numbers, and who is above average, who is below average, that can take a lot of time because you have to add up all the numbers, divide by the number of units, and then it's going to get very tricky. But if we use conditional formatting, we can do it in a matter of seconds. So we're going to go into conditional formatting, go to top bottom rules. As you can see in top bottom, it has top 10 items, top 10%, bottom 10 items, bottom 10%, above average, below average. So a ton of different tools you can use. So in this case, we're going to do above average. And then I'm going to hit OK. So in a matter of seconds, Excel automatically added all those values together, divided them by the number of values, and highlighted all of the cells that were greater than that average. Very simple, easy tool to use, very effective. And as you can see, again, Adam Ray is above average both January and February, so good for him, good sales those 2 months, and a couple of other people as well. So very simple, very easy tool to use, and also very effective. Next thing that we're going to talk about is using the built-in conditional formatting styles. So the styles really help you present information in a more visually appealing way. So let's do this first. Highlight January, and we're going to go to conditional formatting in data bars. So data bars is basically going to show across how great the value is. It's kind of hard to explain it, so I'm just going to do it visually here. So we're going to go to data bars, and in this case, we're going to do blue. And then in February, we'll highlight conditional formatting data bars green. So again, super easy, fun way to really present visual information in an effective manner. So as you can see, the greater the value, the further the data bar stretches across the cell, and the lower the value, the less it does that. It's just an easy way to kind of figure out, okay, this person had this many sales or had less sales, or this person had a lot of sales compared to that person. And it's really effective, really just for presenting data in a visually appealing way that makes a lot of sense. So that was data bars. So the next thing that we're going to talk about is color scales. I'll do that. So for color scales, we're going to highlight the month of February, go to conditional formatting again, color scales, and then click that right there. Perfect. Okay, so for color scales, it looks a little backwards on this, but you can adjust it the way that you want to. But basically, the highest value is in red here. As you can see, 25,600 is in red. It's in that dark shade of red to represent the highest value. And then the lower value in green is 15,750 because it's the lowest, so that's the lowest value. And as you can see, it just in the middle is yellow, orange, light green, and it'll just range from that. This is really great if you have a lot of data in a massive column, and to really identify, okay, everything in red is kind of what's on the upper echelon, everything that's in green, that's on the lower echelon, and you can adjust the colors accordingly. So that's an awesome tool to use as well. And the last thing we're going to look at is icon sets. So this is kind of a fun one as well, because you can highlight, for example, percent change. We'll go to conditional formatting, icon sets, up, down, into the side arrows. Okay, so I've used icon sets, and as you can see, super simple, to the point, 15% up green arrow because he's up 15%, 22% darker shade of up green arrow because Excel automatically will adjust the shade based on the cells. Okay, so this one's 15%, that's a little bit less than 22%, so we're going to make 22% a little bit darker. Same thing with 10%. And as you can see, minus 23%, minus 18%, both in the red, down arrow, 1%. Didn't go up too much, so we're going to make that a yellow arrow going to the right, and you can adjust that. So if it's 1%, if you consider that an increase, you can make it an up arrow, but in this case, Excel automatically decided that, okay, that's basically staying stagnant.
Still have questions? Click to get help from a live Excel expert at Excel Chat.